Morning. Morning. Tommy Jane here. We're going to talk about the detransition map this morning. There's a video that someone did. We're going to get up in her shit too a little bit. Someone by the name of Ariel Scarcella. Don't know what her trip is exactly. But here's this video. Here's why trans people regret transitioning. Reacting to detransitioners FT Storm Ryan. Transgender services are becoming easier to get a hold of, and it's a huge problem. It is? Why would it be a problem for people to be able to access health care? Young people are giving themselves, in caps, gender dysphoria by going from female to male and making changes to their bodies that they soon regret. Here's what a trans man and lesbian think about it all. That's one trans man and one lesbian. Um, the statistics show that the desistance rate is very low, and people will do that, but nobody gives themselves gender dysphoria. What is happening is that masculinity and femininity express on a sliding scale, and there are more people lately, serious gender dysphoria like mine is not common. Okay, I mean we exist. We're here. I mean these most of your transsexuals are all like got something going on at least as difficult to cope with as what I experience. Everybody's different. Everybody's an individual, and everybody's going to be different. What's happening is that people who are just somewhat more masculine than feminine, or somewhat more feminine than masculine, are experimenting and exploring their trans selves. Um, some of them transition completely, some of them only transition partially. Like a lot of women, I met a AFAB, people assigned female. That's what they are. Assigned females and assigned males that aren't really male or female. I met one last night at the Equality Party, and they were microdosing testosterone. Well, here's a problem. What does she want to fix? Here's somebody commenting to my video about conversion therapy and genital mutilation. How will we prevent it or fix it? Why does it need preventing or fixing? Intersex body variations, same-sex attraction, and gender variant behaviors are all part of the natural order. any pathology associated with them is invariably due to like rejection and stigmatization by their families and communities. Um, the clinical studies that have been done on the kids where they're tracking them through like 20, 30 years now, um, is that all of the awful behavioral health parameters smooth right out when transgender people are living in a supportive environment, are able to access the procedures that they're seeking. Let us live our lives as we are, and trans people excel. You would not have the internet. You would not have that little device in your hand working if it were not for a transgender woman by the name of Lynn Conway. So there's a little core component in there that like is real important for the whole functioning of the thing. Yeah, that's what it is. Why do you need things needs for preventing or fixing? Intersex body variation, same-sex attraction, and gender variant behaviors are all part of the natural order of things. What needs fixing is the way society treats queers. All the pathology associated with the transgender experience is the result of rejection by family, stigmatization in the community, institutionalized discrimination that begins with middle school sex ed class. Boom. So back to this bitch. Oh yeah, good morning. Um anyway, where were we? We're gonna listen to this thing. I haven't really like taken it apart. And I guess I need to do that because people were questioning me and why I thought she was just a bigot. And here comes. Here's someone who's going off about transgenders. That still won't necessarily, they're talking about, this is gatekeeping talk at this point here. That's here's somebody even flying a trans flag, trans man looks like. This is kind of true. Transgenders become trans because they think everyone will like them, and the actual trans people are scared of being trans because they think people won't like them. Oh, this is a mess. This is going to be a long mess. Yeah, and older trans people. There's somebody, the closet is my home. I probably should stream this at this point. There's too much banter. Something tells me this person is coming at me from an empty channel, and if she is, she's getting blocked. 2 subscribers. How to switch out a Flash Hider and Dragon Soul cheats. A bunch of anime. What else has she got here?
This is Audible.
Psychology of self-esteem. She's like really into the rat runners. And I'm running out of patience with her. I really wanted to be like looking at this shit and listening to it. I think we'll ignore the next one.
Track everything your team is working on. And like that's gonna happen. That's gonna be there forever. They might be misgendered, like Storm Riot. And his boyfriend's in the corner eating pasta. That's literally me 24/7 besides when I'm filming. Detransitioning is what we're talking about. We found a YouTube channel, and I'm assuming they were all lesbians that thought they were trans men and started to transition and then realized they weren't.
Welcome to the very first ever detransitioner Q&A. My name is Helena. I identified as trans since I was 15 to about 19.
Blake and I did a video about this, and we talked about the age range of people that are detransitioners. They transition from age 15 to 19, and then they realize they're not trans. It's a thing. So this is the
big fucking deal. So what? It's gender queers exploring their gender variant ideas. Big deal. This is why there should be a certain amount of gatekeeping, so that they don't do things to themselves that they are going to regret later. But otherwise, so what? I'm sorry. You know, here, hey, hey, bitch, what pushed you to like put all that ink in your skin? You want to talk about the pathology of that?
I'm gonna get a lot of shit from one side of the LGBT community, and I'm gonna get a lot of love from the other. Either way, this needs to be made. I've talked about this for years, about how important the difference between gender expression and actually being transgender is. And what the world has come to now is people like Trevor Moran is the first YouTuber to ever come out as not transgender. Full disclosure, I do know him. We've met in person a bunch of times. He's an absolute sweetheart as far as I knew before and as far as I know now after watching him.
You know what it is? People talk too much about this shit. They get to it ends up in relational bullying, and lateral hostility. It's like everybody's an individual, and everybody makes their own decisions as to how they're going to dress themselves, how they're going to behave. There's a certain amount of natural potential built into your genes, but your gender identity is something that you build from the time you're about 3, and mainly between 3 and 8 is when your gender identity is forming. And this is before you know about reproduction. I didn't know a thing was for anything but peeing out of when I was told that I can't be a girl because I have one. Something's wrong with that. Just let kids be themselves. Native Americans will dress their kids gender neutral and socialize them together. And the ones that come out trans masculine and the ones that come out trans feminine are like, okay, cool, you're two spirit people and do your thing. The fuck is wrong with that? We need to just like let everybody define themselves and don't give them any arguments. Why do you insist on making somebody's life that's already difficult more difficult? And really, I think that's about all I need to say there. 20 minutes, don't need to go rambling on for an hour or two. That's plenty. Yeah, just let's go over the important points real quick. Just sum up. Everybody's individual. Everybody's got their own flaws. Everybody's got their own advantages and disadvantages. And everybody makes their own decision how they're going to dress and clothe and behave themselves. And some people are trans feminine and some people are trans masculine. And some of those people need to get their genitals and secondary sex characteristics modified to bring that all into congruence with their sexuality. uh, Carolyn Cossey goes into it in detail in her book why she did it. You know, why she needed a vagina. It's just she couldn't see herself as a gay man. Um, I don't want to go into me. Um, I want a man, but he needs to have a vagina. I can't see myself having sex with a man with a penis. It just doesn't work for me. Um, anyway, um, masculinity and femininity appear on a sliding scale. That the only thing binary about humans is the gametes. After that, there's too much variation in the structure of the genitals. There's too much variation in physical masculinity and femininity and psychological masculinity and femininity. It's just what it's not one or the other. It's like most of one or half and half even. There's people that wake up and just don't know how they're gonna feel like a man or a woman any day. You know, I met a kid. He said, "Call me an it." So I don't know whether I'm he, she, they. Just call me it. Um, the main thing is that we stigmatize these people. It's institutionalized. It's generation to generation. It's educated. It's in our education system, the sex education that kids are receiving in middle school is not medically accurate, and it's terribly biased towards cisgender, heterosexual, and male-dominated society. And anything other than that is an aberration. That's like gets the by the time these kids are in middle school, the queer kids are getting bullied, and they're afraid of themselves. This is what we have to change. This is why we have to pass the Equality Act. This is why these uh, updated, medically accurate, and age-appropriate curricula are important. Um, Join me on the 10th. Oh, today's the 8th, so day after tomorrow. Big celebration because, from what I understand, it's a done deal, and the TUSD is going to accept the proposed curriculum for the family life opt-in family life class. So anyway, thanks for watching. Happy day. Bye.